What's up everybody, JJ Shankles the Goat Toasters here, back with another episode of your tech news. I hope you guys are having an amazing day out there, and let's get right into the tech news. The first story of the day is camera related, specifically about Canon. They're having a virtual event later this week, specifically covering the Canon R5 and R6, their upcoming mirrorless cameras. The big spec that everyone's looking at is that the Canon R5 will be able to shoot in 8K resolution. And recently there was a leak showing that it will be able to shoot 8K DCI or 8K Ultra. Just two different 8K resolutions. The DCI is a little bit wider, more of a movie format, while the 8K Ultra will be more of a regular widescreen. Hopefully we'll get some nailed down specs of the entire camera and see if this camera is as good as they claim it will be. If it can live up to the specs and the hype behind this camera, this will be a game changer in the mirrorless realm of video shooting. But we'll have to keep an eye on that later this week. And on to the hardware realm. Huawei has released a desktop PC processor, and it shows how much specs aren't everything. It's an 8-core using the 7nm process, but it is an ARM-based processor, which has some limitations for PC usage because it can't use a lot of the most popular apps that are out there, like the Adobe Suite you can't use, and you can only download apps from their special app store. So overall, as the reviews go, it seems very limited in how much you can actually do with it, but they were able to get a couple benchmarks done on this CPU, and it's very underpowered for a 2020 CPU being released. This is a first step for Huawei trying to step into the PC desktop CPU space, and it definitely shows that it is a first attempt because it's very underpowered and very limited in what you can actually do with this CPU. And onto some more well-known programs. Chrome claims that their new update might save 2 hours of battery life on your laptop. The main thing they claim this update will do is to disable JavaScripts that are running in apps you're not actively using at that time. That way Chrome won't have a bunch of background processes that you're not actively looking at. And they ran one test of having 36 different tabs open, and with this new update it saved up to 2 hours of battery life on a laptop. And they tried some more heavy use case of running videos like on YouTube, and it only saved about 30 to 40 minutes of battery life, which is still a good amount of battery life considering it's just an update to Chrome, and it will save almost all laptops a good amount of battery life. So that's a great update to see from Google. And on to Apple news. Their new iOS update shows when an app is copying from your clipboard, and it has revealed some pretty scary apps that are constantly taking your clipboard information. There's been some reported videos of people using TikTok or LinkedIn or certain Reddit apps where every single character they typed, they got a notification that the app was taking their clipboard at that moment. This is pretty scary stuff for security reasons, because what if you copy and pasted your bank account password or a routing number, and then you go into TikTok next and you start typing away, but it's really storing your clipboard data that you were using earlier in the day. This is great to see Apple taking the forefront in mobile security, because now that they've pointed it out, it shows how many apps might be doing bad things. Now, TikTok might not be stealing your bank account information. They claim that it's just trying to help predict what you're typing next. And maybe it's just lazy coding on their side, but it definitely seems like it could be a security risk. And I'm glad Apple is taking the time to really keep their users safe. And onto some video game news. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has leaked 30 minutes of playtime. They previously had released a gameplay trailer, but it didn't actually have very much actual gameplay. But this new leak has about 30 minutes of real actual gameplay. Now, it probably isn't a finished product yet, and it's playing on either the new Xbox or the new PlayStation, which neither of those are finished hardware yet, but it shows some of what the video game is. Ubisoft is trying to take this down, so there's certain places on the internet you can find it if you want to look for it. This will be yet another Assassin's Creed video game, this time set in Viking times, set around what is nowadays England. But it shows off some of the powerful specs that this next generation console will be able to really pump out some amazing frames with beautiful graphics and high refresh rate. But since it's still in development, these are just early releases about the game. And on to some general news. We've got some bad news from the space company Rocket Lab. They yesterday had a failure in launch during the second stage of the rocket. They lost the rocket, and the 7 satellites inside were lost. As of now, they haven't released an official statement saying what went wrong, but they are looking into it. This is their 13th launch, and unfortunately 13 was unlucky for these launches. Thankfully there were no astronauts on this rocket, so no lives were lost in this mission, but they did lose 7 different satellites. Hopefully they'll be able to find the root cause and eliminate it in future rocket launches, and they'll get right back on to launching rockets. In your food-related news, Uber is buying Postmates for $2.65 billion. Postmates is a food delivery service that competes with Uber Eats. Now Uber will be buying it out in a stock-related buyout. Now Uber wants to take on more of the market of food delivery. I guess if you can't take on the competition, you can just buy them. That's Uber's strategy with this deal. In other news, Bosch, the company that makes a bunch of tools and other hardware equipment, they've unveiled a new e-bike. This will feature anti-lock brakes and a built-in computer system to keep you safe. The new electronic bike has an electric motor in there to give you a little bit of boost. So it's like a bike that you are powering, but the electric boost gives you a little bit of an extra boost to get you going at fast enough speeds without all that effort coming from you. And overall, it's a really good looking bike. Hopefully electronic bikes can be the next big thing because it allows people to commute with the small, lightweight, low carbon footprint of being a bike, but also with that electric motor in there, it allows you to get to work and maybe you won't be as sweaty as if it was a normal bike. And on to the final story of the day. India is drafting up a bill that requires online retailers to hand over their site's source code. They say this is to prevent online AI biasing, and this will go a long way in protecting people's individual online security. This will be a huge step in the right direction of keeping people safe and making sure online retailers are playing by the right rules and respecting individuals' privacy. But that about wraps it up for today. If anything I said was infactual or I missed a story you wanted me to cover, make sure to comment it in the comments down below and I'll mention it on the next video. And while you're down there, if you would hit that like and subscribe button, it really helps this channel out and it means a lot to me personally. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day out there. Make sure you're staying safe. Make sure you're washing your hands. It is 2020 still. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in the next video. Go Toaster out.